count us in.
Well, once it gives me timing here, it still
That's right.
says zeros. Okay, there we go.
Hold on. I was gonna say, let me start over. Go. I am ready when you are.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. 1,
Yeah.
2, 3.
So money.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good, dude.
So we're gonna start it at 30 seconds on the Skype video, and that will end up being 13 seconds on the audio. There we go. So we are good to go now, my friend.
I'm telling you, man, it took a few weeks to get this nailed down, but I think we got the count in right on.
Yeah, I got the notes in there, so should be good.
Good enough.
Dude, I might have drank too much whiskey before the pod today.
Yeah.
I'm feeling loosey-goosey. Like if I were elbow macaroni, I would be way overcooked right now.
Way past al dente.
Dude, I'm like mushy. I'm mushy pasta.
Well,
There's nothing worse than mushy macaroni though, dude. Like if you're trying to have mac and cheese, I've learned that the noodles will keep cooking even after strain it out, take them off the you can't fuck that up, man. Mushy mac is the worst. I'm sure there's some mushy mac fans out there, but if you are one of those mushy mac fans, you're fucking wrong. So there's that. What you sipping on?
It's called John Bard's blended Scotch. I don't know. We're gonna see how it ends up tasting. I mean, on that scale, when you get like the 91, it's got a rating of 91. So I mean, they're like, hey, it's not the worst.
Bullet single barrel.
Ooh, good find.
S&V Liquors Winter Sweet.
Okay.
They had other ones. They had Winter Spice. They had two different ones there. But it's a single barrel, so it's one of its kind, and it is so S&V Liquors. Shout out S&V Liquors. I signed up on their website. I met a really cool lady who works there, and they do taste testings all the time. And when you join their email club, they'll let you know when they have limited releases. So that's pretty dope. Signed up for that shit, and they get their own. Like they do like Mega Bev shit. They get their own bottles.
Oh yeah.
And they're down the street, bro. 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
That's what's up.
It's my new go-to now, so I'm pumped I found one.
Yeah, I didn't go to Mega Bev. I went to Drake. Gave the corner store. I love what it's called, Drake's corner store, but I mean it's much more than just your run down the city street block. I
thought it was party store. Drake's party store.
Drake's party store. You're right. Yeah. You're right. But it's a solid little establishment. Shout them out. They got me that Pappy cigar this last summer.
I never did get one.
I know Tara said she reserved one. I think like a couple for you.
Yeah.
Under your name. So, give this the swill of a tasting.
Hey everybody. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Proficient Fans.
Let me jump in. You're going too slow. We got because here's the reason why we can't go with I gotta talk over you. Is because of the fact that there's no enthusiasm. So we gotta rock it because we don't have much to talk about
today, buddy.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Proficient Fans. My name is CB and with me is
Clay Haggard.
There we go. We gotta
here's the thing. If we don't it would have been fire had you not talked over me the entire time.
It really wouldn't have because of the fact that we don't have much to talk about, so we gotta build up as much as we can to let everybody down.
We've been sipping too much whiskey tonight to be bringing that kind of energy. Which is ironic, bro. Catch me 10 years ago, I'd have been like, welcome to another episode of Proficient Fans!
Oh no, man! Yeah, we gotta hype it up with not much to talk about. We gotta keep the energy high. So
last week, the times we think we don't have anything to say are the times we have our longest podcast. We hit a record. We hit a record last week, bro. We hit the 2-hour mark.
It wasn't a record. That was our second time we've done that. I think the second time because you gotta count Tiger Woods.
That don't count.
That's a special occasion.
That don't count.
I'll give you a special broadcast on that one.
Yeah, that was.
No, I am only one drink in it. I'm one glass in it after last week. Dude, I got sick before I went to bed. Woke
You
up in the
got what?
morning, got sick. Sick. I got sick. Like, bleh. Uh,
Oh man,
and so
college
I
days.
I
Get
was
one?
laid up on the couch all fucking day, dude.
Ooh.
Go.
So I'm gonna have a little sippy sip neat before I throw in the ice ball. How's yours? How's
So
yours drinking?
it's really not bad at all. I mean, really mild. Vanilla-y. But
Okay.
yeah, no, I'm just doing one pour this week. Because I finished up that Loch Lomond, then jumped to the fucking Wild Turkey, and that's when shit got silly.
Sorry for the silence, guys. I was trying my whiskey.
I was waiting to see what you had to say. I figured it's going to be
The
spicy.
winter sweet is coming through, even with Bullet. Bullet's a little bit not sharp, but sharp. That's a
Did you get a
decent word to
bourbon or a
explain.
rye?
So Bullet does a rye, which is the one we
Yeah.
drank. This one doesn't say rye, but so I don't think it is. But that single barrel, man, wow, that aftertaste is fantastic. This is a good bourbon.
Nice.
I also, which I didn't tell you, the most expensive bottle I've ever purchased.
Oh, really?
Hit me for them
But
70 bones.
oh, no, that's going to be delicious at 70.
Oh,
I mean,
oh man, that wow, that's a nice little.
nice.
I mean, there's some ice in there, so it doesn't look as dark as what it is. But I mean,
Oh, you can see it in the bottle if you're watching on the YouTubes, but maybe turn it around so you can see the label. Because you can still see that color through the, you know. There you go.
some fire stuff. Oh, cork smells good too. All right, man, we're gonna skip over the week unless you got something exciting to say. I just want to get into them sports talk.
Yeah, there's nothing popping, dude. Nothing popped.
Hey,
I'm here thinking about the weekend.
onto a new month of sales, right?
Yeah. Big month, but it's cool.
Yep. There we go.
So as we were talking, guys, before this pod, there wasn't really much that went on. We had the NFL Combine that went on. Saw some interesting times, some interesting bench. I don't know. Did you? So I know that you typically watch that. Did you end up catching most of it, or you just watch
From
highlights?
the combine.
Yeah.
I followed most of it. I mean, I have so when it comes to my Bleacher Report, I keep on anything that's NFL rumor, NFL trade, NFL Combine is one of them, NFL Draft. So like pretty much any NFL news that comes through, it pretty much hits my phone just because that's the one league that I personally follow like thoroughly. You know, kind of like with you and NBA. Um, but yeah, no. So I followed it that way. I've come to realize, as exciting as the 40-yard dash is, I feel like it's a little too heavily like weighted or have like everyone's
so
like the
glad you're saying
40-yard
this.
dash, this is the biggest deal. And like speed kills, don't get me wrong. But I'm like, I don't need to know what everyone's 40 time was, but you got Kenny Willekes over here, putting up 23 reps on 185 or what, 225.
225. It
225.
was 27. I thought.
Yeah, and nonetheless, that's not even the biggest deal. They had a punter put up 23, so I mean,
Oh no. Wait, yeah, hold on. What? I'm gonna find that again.
Yeah, I mean, you can look it up if you want. But my point being is there's so
32.
much else.
Excuse me. Sorry, Kenny. No one disrespect.
32. Good work. Good work, Kenny. I didn't know it was that much.
I thought it was something more impressive.
Yeah.
32 is an impressive number. That's what I wanted to say. I wanted to get that number right because when I saw that, I was like, shit, let's get busy.
Yep.
He tied for the record there. I mean,
So tell you what, I'm not gonna look up all of the numbers because at the end of the day, no one broke any records. I think we maybe came close to some ties or had some ties, but nothing was so bonkers that it like is worth a 10-minute segment. You know what I mean? Like there were some big D linemen, man, 330 some pound men running like 5 flats, 5 ones on the 40-yard dash. That's impressive. We had a 4.30 today, ran by a DB if I'm not mistaken, which is just bonkers. But yeah, I mean, what do you got? I'm just rambling at this point, man. You got anything to?
No, you're good. Because I was actually sitting there, I was watching some highlights this morning, and I was like, how much stock am I really putting into a 40 time? Like, when I'm looking at what positions, it's like, what are you really putting into stock? Like, do I really gonna be disappointed if my receiver, runs a 4.3 but only benches 20, 20 reps? So, like, I mean, because in both, I mean, like, I sit there and I'm just like, well, speed on a receiver is number one, well, besides catching the ball. But then if you can get somebody that can throw up mad reps and be strong up top, then you're gonna make themselves. So I'm like, okay, I see where that fits in, but it's just for a lineman, an offensive lineman, knowing what the 40 time is there, I just don't see where that benefits. So
I think some of it comes down to quickness, and just footwork. Because if you're fast, typically your footwork is somewhat decent. Those do go kind of hand in hand to an extent.
But they do that drill. They do the quickness drill that they like. I watched one dude do the speed. They got the cones. They got this. They got shuttle, but they also have they have other things to.
You got to understand too, though, man, that like some of this is just athleticism. I mean, it's really just a measure of like how hard did you work to try and perfect it. You know what I mean? Like some of it's God-given talent, but at this level, the guys who are putting up those like, oh my God numbers, those are the guys who probably worked their ass off training for 3 months to perfect their form on the 40-yard dash. Yeah. So if you look at the greater picture, kind of, like as a coach, you would want to look at, okay, so he's an athlete. Well, what else does he have? Work ethic. You know what I mean? His IQ.
Yeah.
Like, what is his personality like with the media? Like, I think for the combine, I don't look at the combine and say, well, that running back ran, 0.12 seconds faster than this guy. So he's going to be a better running back. Like, there's more to it. It's just a measurable. And I think it's more so just from a standard athletic evaluation. I don't think it's any more than just how athletic are you. For example,
you know what we're supposed to do this year? Fuck. We were supposed to do the litmus test. We said this last year we were going to do the litmus test.
Oh, yeah. We can still do it. Is that like something we can look up and take?
Yeah, we can find sample questions, but I mean, like, I feel like being able to discuss our scores on the pod rise the weekend that these guys do this would have been better.
Well,
but we can still do it.
All we have to do is stop this recording, record tomorrow, or stop this recording, go do it right now and come back.
I'm not in the facility to do that.
Then quit your complaining.
I wasn't complaining. I just remember we said we were going to do it. Well, so like Tua and
it's the Wonderlick, by the way.
Wonderlick. What did I say?
I don't know. You said some dumb shit.
I said the litness. What the fuck? Where the fuck did that one come from? Yeah, the Wonderlick. Well, no, I mean, and then do you think that Tua not showing up helps or hurts his stock?
It doesn't matter. For a player of that caliber, usually, in my opinion, if you are a top 5 pick, like guaranteed, Chase Young, Joe Burrow, Tua oh my God, I looked this up. Tungo Vailoa. There we go. Tungo Vailoa. Which is weird because there's an N in there. It's pronounced with an N, but there's no N in his last name. So anyways, if your guy is like that, in my opinion, it truly doesn't matter. because they always have their pro day. And I've never seen someone skip the combine and skip their pro day. I personally have never seen that unless it's injury related.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I just feel like I mean, we still have seen some pretty big names that and still go to the combine. And it was, I mean, what was I guess what was Baker? I thought he got drafted high, and he went to the combine.
Wasn't he number 1?
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. So he went to the combine though, didn't he?
I don't know. I mean, I thought your question was the guys who aren't going to the combine.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, you know, like you said that if you're a top 5 guy,
if you're
not
top
going
5
to the combine.
Talents. Chase Young.
Yeah.
Chase Young isn't going to do the combine, CB. Will he be drafted top 5?
I know, but that's the reason I'm pointing out that Baker Mayfield, I believe, did the combine.
Right.
And was in a top 5. He's going against what you said.
Sure.
And I was just saying, I mean, I guess how are you qualifying that I guess that kind of a statement? Because I mean, like we already
the mock drafts.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's an obvious thing. Like Baker, I think Baker was a top 5 QB coming into the draft. Like everyone was like, he's good enough that he will go top 5 guaranteed. Just like Joe Burrow and Chase Young. I mean, I think it's a great example. Those guys, combine or not, they're still. I mean, you would have to be ignorant to sit here and say, well, I don't know. I don't know if, Chase Young may not go top. Like, no, Chase Young is going top 5, regardless of the fact. So I'm talking about the absolute no doubts. Those are the ones.
Baker Mayfield was that. And
right.
I mean, like,
and it's nothing
but
wrong
he did
with him
the
going
combine.
to the combine. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That wasn't your question that you addressed to me. You addressed if you don't go to the combine, how does that impact you?
And then you kind of said the top 5, and I addressed your top 5.
Yeah.
So if you're top 5, you're not.
If Joe Burrow goes to the combine, he's top 5. If Joe Burrow does not go to the combine, he's top 5. So it's an irrelevant conversation, in my opinion. Like, but there is no discussion to be had.
But I'm just pointing out that, I mean, in the past, the number 1 draft pick has showed up to the combine.
Oh, I see what you're saying. All right. Well, that okay, in that situation, sure. Well, this will be the first time then, because it's either probably going to be Chase Young.
It's like
it'll be Burrow, Young, or Tua. Those are the only 3 in this draft pool who are going to go number 1, and none of them showed up for the combine. So next year, this year will be the first year that happens that I can think of off the top of my head.
Well, that's what I was just like, this isn't even like a standard thing. Like, we haven't had something like this happen. That's what I'm kind of like wowed by.
I'm kind of curious.
Okay, ever like that? No, I don't know that for a fact. But I mean, like, that the top 3 didn't show up. It's the likelihood on that's very high that this hasn't happened before.
I think it goes to show that when you do have the talent, though, the combine once again, like you and I were just talking about.
Nick Bosa won last year.
Is it that serious? You know what I mean? I mean, it kind of goes with kind of what we were talking about when we were talking about the combine, and it's just an athleticism test, and like what at the end of the day, other than like a second, literally a second difference. Yeah, like what else does it do? Now, it does help the guys who aren't top 5. You know what I mean? Like this Isaiah Simmons, this linebacker who's faster than Odell Beckham Jr., who's faster than Julio Jones, who tied the record for the broad jump, who is a ridiculous vertical jump. Those are the guys who are greatly going to benefit from the combine.
Yeah, there's some big motherfuckers running fast. I thought about that too. About how big these human beings are running that fucking quick. The game's getting ready to change, man. Most of the running backs going to start looking like fucking Derrick Henry. Watch. They're going to be fucking huge. And that means the linemen are going to have to be even bigger. It's about ready to be just... We're going to see in our lifetime real giants. Like the mythological kind. No. From mythology. I can't think mythological. You're not even helping, Dick. You stayed at the screen watching me struggle.
I don't know what you want from me. Did you want my help?
I wanted you to say the word right so we can move on because
Which I honestly, you're so far from it. I'm not sure what word you're trying to say. Methodical?
mythological. Mythological.
Mythological.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you were saying like I didn't. Yeah, I didn't know what you were trying to say.
Manic depressive. What the fuck? So, anyways, yeah, that was the combine guy. Now you did, last week we did talk about the CBA.
Yeah.
Like briefly, like, I was like, man, I wish I would have pulled up what it was about. So I would do want to, say thank you for actually putting what was really going on in the CBA.
Collective bargaining agreement. For those of you out there who don't know what CBA stands for, it's basically the individuals who are the voice of all of the NFL players in the league. So when there's big decisions that need to be had between owners, the league itself, things like that, these are the people who speak on behalf of the players. And there were some proposed changes that they're looking to implement by the 2021 season. And I'll go over a couple of these and then we'll just kind of recap them and talk to them. So these are the 5 main points that at least they were talking about on ESPN. They want to move the regular season. The regular season increases to 17 games, which is, for the record, there's 17 weeks, but there's only 16 games because every team gets a bye week. So they want to go 18 weeks, 17 games in 2021, but they're going to reduce the preseason to 3 games. So that would basically mean 1 less preseason game, 1 more regular season game. Player revenue share goes from 47% to 48.5%, meaning additional $5 billion to player salary pool. Game day rosters expand from 46 to 48 players. The number of padded practices in training camp decreases from 28 to 16. And then lastly, reduces penalties to players who test positive for THC, eliminating game suspensions. So with all those being said, CB, obviously we'll just start right there at the top. I actually know for a fact you and I have talked about this before on the mic, but what do you think about the NFL potentially having 1 less preseason game and increasing their regular season by an extra game?
I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't remember the last time we're growing as people and we change, and maybe I thought a different way. But when I'm looking at this right now, the only thing that I think of is I have 1 more game of bad football to watch.
Being a Lions fan, be clear.
Well, no, not even just that. Because of the fact that we don't really see good football until week 5, 6, right? I mean, when you really see some good football getting played. I think I'm not a big fan of it the more I think about it. 3 preseason games. Now I am all for less preseason games, putting their bodies on the line. I think that the chess match that you put together is gonna not really change if you practice against somebody else or not. Because like when you do those practice teams and stuff, you have them being specific against like other teams within the league. So I don't think that I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it. The extra game, I get it business wise because they're gonna make more ticket concessions and all those prices and all those things with 1 extra real game because fans are gonna show up. Because you get kind of right when you go to the preseason game, so it's like I don't know. I'm not for the players. I don't think this is good. It's already a taxing job on their body, and although they're paid very handsomely to play the said game, I think that this extra one's just not going to be. But go ahead.
So, I guess there's a couple different ways you can look at this. Obviously, from a paper standpoint, they're not playing any more football than they already are. All they're basically doing is saying week 4 preseason is now week 1 of regular season. Let me finish. The difference is that's 1 extra week on your starters. Because now instead of playing your, like taking week 1, everybody, week 2 cuts, minimize, week 3, minimize, week 4, I'll be honest, if you're a superstar, you're still not playing week 4. Maybe your first drive, just to
Right.
kind of get out there and play full speed. So from a starter standpoint, the important people, quote unquote, yes, that is going to be more taxing due to the extra game, let's say game and a half to be fair, that they're going to have to play regular season. Obviously, from a business standpoint, yes, because that's one extra game on NFL Sunday Ticket. That's one extra game for ABC, CBS, Fox.
Advertising is
So
gonna
so
kill.
I get that too. I don't think there's anything wrong with the way the season is now. So even though I love football, and if their bodies were, if they were all immune to injury, I'd want football year round, 52 weeks straight, baby. But since that's
Championship game, you get a week off, and then you
I
get to
know,
play
right?
again.
And so since that's not a thing, I'll be honest with you. I'm okay with just one less preseason game.
So don't add another game. Yeah,
No,
I'm with that.
take
With
his
that
preseason game
100%.
away.
Yep.
4 is too many. I think 4 is too many. 2, you're cutting it. 3 is perfect. Round 1, round 2, round 3. If you ain't good by round 3, you're out. 3 strikes, you're out, baby. Like, you got to make the team by then.
Here's the thing: it's like you're gonna just cut large, but it allows you to cut people sooner and get to what the job at hand of going to win a Super Bowl.
And that's the thing, man. Because here's the thing: like, I get the preseason games, and you want to dwindle out and see what's going on. First of all, go Buckeyes! Beat the.
Yeah, you saw that too.
So past that, here's some things to look at. One, for those of you who don't watch Hard Knocks or follow football enough, most of these teams scrimmage in before preseason even hits.
Yeah.
During training camp, they're scrimmaging other teams. They're scrimmaging each other. They're constantly hitting and they're going at it. Even at practice, you should have a pretty damn good idea of who at least has enough talent to suit up and go out on the field. Within 3 games, man, if somebody's got it or not.
Yeah.
If the question at hand is 4 is too many, there needs to be a change. Just take one away. Making it a regular season game just so we have one more game at hand isn't going to really change that much. And I'm just being OCD about this. I like the idea, 17 weeks, but
even number
games. I like being able to finish 500 right there smack dab in the middle. You are a 500 team. Being below or above is just kind of weird to me. I just would rather there be a middle ground of you are the definition of mediocre. Congratulations. So, but no, man, at the end of the day, yes, I think you and I are kind of on the same page. Which talking about cuts to players and things like that kind of leads us into the roster expanding. Potentially 46 to 48 players. And I know a lot of people out there are 2.
That's a lot.
That's a big deal. 1.
It allows you to maybe have 1 extra receiver or 1 extra tight end or
more importantly, 1 extra quarterback back there. You know what I mean? Having that backup kicker in case you need one. God, I don't know why people would do that, but I'm saying there are situations out there where having 1 extra guy is a huge deal.
Yeah.
Or, from a coaching standpoint, maybe those are just hey, we have 2 utility spots, 2 spots that we've never had in the past. Who's the most athletic guy we can have? You know what I mean? And that's who we're going to be using as our quote unquote utility guy. He's like a,
do you remember Dante Hall or Devin Hester?
Yeah. Wow. I'm so offended right now.
The thing was, I mean,
you're not saving this one. I'm offended. It's okay though. I'm gonna drink. I'll let you do your thing. Go ahead. Go ahead. Do your thing.
Put these motherfuckers back on so we can talk.
You good? Have you collected yourself now?
I'm just okay. So I'm making sure Dante Hall. I know that the age difference. Okay. But those guys would have been, or what you're talking about right there, that utility player that, although they weren't the greatest at their position, they were specialty players. Imagine just be able to have a specialty you're our kick returner because you run and are a fucking monster.
Yeah.
And that now you get to actually have now you can do a skilled position. you hit the nail on the head with that. I mean, as far as how you can just get a specialty player,
Yeah.
that's a great idea.
So I'm whatever about that. The only thing is, from a business standpoint, you got two more salaries to pay now. Like that
Well,
is
you got that
you know what I
extra
mean?
fucking real game to fucking pay for it.
Hmm. Yep. What do
Now
you think
talking
about
about pay
the?
though,
You go ahead.
I was gonna say about that revenue
Yeah.
going up 1.5 points. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, you think that's
Um,
enough?
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, when guys are making multi-million dollars a year, um,
The league.
like, so most people may look at that though and say, 1.5%, like that won't be that big of a difference maker. But when that 1.5% is equivalent to 5 billion, like,
So here's the
bro,
thing:
that's
if they're willing
nuts.
to give that, that means that I mean, like, that's $150 billion business,
Hmm. So there's a
or
couple good things.
110 billion, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm
Now
sorry. If
there's
that,
several directions we can go in with this conversation. I'm going to bring up one point, just to bring up one point to keep it moving. In these situations of all these holdouts, that's a little bit. Now it's not 5 billion per team, but that's that much more money to start offering these Ezekiel Elliott's and Le'Veon Bells and Melvin Gordon's, and you know what I mean,
well,
like that. I'm not saying
let's
it's,
not pay them much.
yeah, but
Pay
you see
to
what I'm
help
saying,
as least
like
as we can.
when the owners are like, oh, whoa,
Wow.
wait, you're just gonna give me more money to pay my players? I'm
Yeah.
sure. All I'm saying is, if something like that were to have gone through before this last season, I feel like it would have been a little bit different
I
on
think
how some of
that's
those
what it.
holdouts went.
No, I was gonna say I thought that was a lot of the reason why the holdouts were coming because of the fact they didn't want to. They knew the collective bargaining agreement was coming through, and they wanted to, either get a great contract that no matter what the collective bargaining was going to do
Hmm.
was not going to affect them,
Yeah, no,
or
no. Yeah,
they wanted to get contracted outside of that just to make sure that no
yep.
matter what happens, they're covered.
Oh, no. I'm with you. I'm saying, had this been approved and gone through by then, it
Oh,
would have been a different story. No, I agree. They're doing
well,
that because, let's say this doesn't happen. Let's say there's less money, or this, excuse me, the same
yeah.
money that's out there now in this player salary pool. Like, yeah,
I
every
know I'm
dollar
being
counts.
selfish, but I would have liked to have seen it. So, maybe, maybe I'm asking for a tall glass here, but more closer to where they get to the 10 billion for that player pool. Um, just because of the fact, I mean, that's for the players at that point. These guys, I don't know. I start thinking about the Tony Gonzalez, not Tony Gonzalez, but Junior Seau. And that kind of shit that could have paid for some extra help,
Hmm.
and this might have helped out. If they could have a lot more money in that pool. I mean, because this is like I said, is it fair? I don't know the number, but is it fair to say the NFL is $100 billion business?
I'm not sure.
I mean, guess.
So I'm one of those guys who, like, I think of like Disney, or I'll think of like these in general, companies, organizations, Google. You they're worth so much damn money that's just infinite, bro. Like, I mean, I know there's a dollar amount to value these companies or organizations. I feel like the NFL is there. From an American entertainment standpoint, nothing's bigger than the NFL. So, like, I'm saying, to not give it a strict number, I'm basically agreeing with you that I would have no doubt if somebody were to say, "Did you know it's worth that much?" I'd say, "I'm sure it is."
Yeah.
It's just, it's the freaking NFL, man.
Now you said something there that kind of I guess like it was like, do you not think that the NBA maybe has taken over from the NFL? You still feel that the NFL is still number
NFL.
one over everything? Because I just felt like
Yeah.
I honestly feel just because of the fact of look, one player in the NBA is bigger than the entire NFL.
Hmm.
I mean, and it's safe to say that it has almost been like that for a long time. You know, and with all the I don't know, like I just think maybe it's because I'm a parent. And I see, a lot of parent articles about parents not letting their kids play football or not encouraging their kids to play football. That I just think that at the end of the day, like basketball still is kind of like that number one thing. So
So they're saying the NFL is worth 2.86 billion.
yeah, that's not right because they're gonna give 5 billion.
We'll see. So this says the average NFL franchise is worth 2.86, but if you look
Yeah,
up how much is the NFL worth as a whole, it still gives the same answer for some reason.
yeah, that can't be right. That's not because
But then
that
this one says the top 5 teams are worth on an average 1.9 billion, but that's how much franchises are worth. Yeah, I don't know why you can't
find the right answer with that.
uh, but nonetheless, to keep it moving, padded practices and training camp decreases 28 to 16. I'm for it. These guys are professionals. You don't
Yeah,
need to hit each other hard to know if you're tough or not.
right.
And it reduces injury. That's my thing. Like they're
It's
pros.
just that's you're
Now,
looking at science now.
yeah, everything leading up to becoming a professional, you have, let's say, quote unquote, training wheels. You're still
Yeah,
learning. That's why you're not a professional. Once you are a professional, I don't feel like the physical contact is going to dictate the skill set. Now, some guys may be soft after getting hit, but in 16 practices, you'll know it doesn't take
yeah.
28. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm kind of whatever on that one. I'm all about it. If it's about player health and their longevity in their career, I say it's worth it.
Fuck you, Zion, you little bitch.
Yeah, he dunked right over him, bro.
Yeah,
Um, and then the last note we had on here from this, at least, reduces penalties to players who test positive for THC, eliminating game suspensions.
good, good,
I'm good
dude.
with it.
Do you know? Okay, so part of the reason why, like, forever, I've always been I've been a strong advocate for medicinal purposes of marijuana for since I was a child.
Mm.
I don't know what I saw. I wish I could tell you like what documentary it was I saw where I was just like, oh shit, this makes the most sense. But basically, I saw something where this guy had bone spurs in his fucking wrist, and like it really tore him apart. And but like when he smoked, his body would relax and he could actually live comfortably. And when guys are out there, they're getting bruised. And this is, I mean, we give them shots. We
Oh,
give
was it
them.
the offensive lineman from the New Orleans Saints?
I can't remember.
There was a
I
guy who
don't.
played for the Saints and basically said that it helped him through the pain more than any
Yeah.
medication that the
Yeah.
NFL gave
But
him.
that's what I'm kind of getting at is that it. I mean, I from this documentary when I was a kid, it wasn't. I can't think it was a dude from the Saints that back then, but uh, anyways, he sat there. It was just I just feel like when you go out there and you throw your body at another man for what 3 hours a day for a day,
Hmm.
and then just practicing that hard and all that stuff. If that is something that is going to allow you to recover comfortably without really injecting anything bad into your body, the worst thing about if you're smoking, you know what I mean? Like you're
Hmm.
unfortunately you're taking in that carbon monoxide in your lungs. That's not really good. But I mean, if they're doing edibles,
Hmm.
that's just ingesting food at that point.
Yep.
Uh, which I think would be healthier than smoking the you know the
Yeah.
sweet Mary Jane.
Hmm.
So I'm all for that. I'm glad that a lot of the sports that we love to watch are really starting to just look the other way when it comes to this particular substance.
Yeah. I mean, I don't need to say much on it, man. I'm for it. Like, I'm pro medical cannabis to begin with. Um, there is enough scientific evidence that that drug can be more helpful than harmful. I know a lot of people still have concerns. I mean, dude, I won't say his name, but I've had um, in-depth conversations with one of my best friends who is not for it. and we had just educated discussion on the topic of, in all situations in life, with kids, around kids,
Yeah.
with work, with sport. I mean, all the way around. So, um, point being, yeah, I don't know why I rambled into that, but I
No, go for
digress.
it. Go
At
for it.
the end
Go
of the
for
day,
it.
but at the end of the day, yeah, no, I'm pro for it. If it helps an athlete relieve themselves of pain, go for it. And it doesn't have to be athletics. I'm not biased to sports stars.
Right.
If you work a hard job, if you're a construction worker, if you're blue collar and you got to bust your ass harder than all these fucking CEOs, and that's what helps you get through your day and make that money to provide for your family.
Those are smoking, man. They're
Or
smoking. They don't get baked every day,
even
but
if you're not providing for your family, if you're just sipping on the sweet single barrel bullet, you know what I'm saying?
shipping on the
Hey,
scissor.
you do
Ship.
what you need to do. So, last thing I'll say before we move forward from all this, NFL, if you were to basically, I did the NFL and NBA. If you take individual franchises based upon their net worth, NFL comes out to around 91 billion. The NBA is between 55 to 78 billion.
All
So the
right.
NFL, and this is all current as of
Monetarily,
the
they're
end of
making, yeah.
2019. So they're 20 to 40 billion dollars higher still
Okay.
than the NBA. And that's off of franchise net worth. There's
Yeah.
obviously more that goes into that, but um at the end of the day is I think the NBA from a viewing standpoint has increased tremendously over the last decade.
Yeah.
And even though I know there are folks out there, and I'm going to say they're more traditionalists that do not like these super teams, if the super teams at the end of the day are help increase viewing for this sport, I mean, that's still a good thing for basketball at the end of the day, the way I look at it.
I'm sitting here thinking about something because of the fact that you're talking about the what all right.
Cool.
No, yeah, I'm sorry.
You
Yeah,
typing about the 40th anniversary of the Miracle on Ice?
yeah, right. No, so what I wanted to make a comment about was the fact that it is now 9:34 when we're recording. In New Orleans, it is 8:34. That means they started the game at 7:30 their time. You see how we can like kind of adjust times here to make it so that some of these big name teams that are out west can be played at a decent, reasonable hour. I'm just curious if anybody else is noticing this shit right now as you're enjoying a great basketball game at a reasonable hour on an
You know
evening
why,
that you have to
right?
go to work the next day.
You know why? Two names: LeBron James, Zion Williamson. That's the only reason that this Lakers
I'm
game is
just saying
on
that
at this
it can
time.
be done, West Coast. That's all I'm saying. Like, come on, the viewership. So here's the reason why maybe you can make a lot more money on those NFL games. That's probably the reason why they're up monetarily, because the fact that all those games are
Prime
the
time.
same, no
Except
matter what time.
I think except for the first or second week of the regular season when they do like two games on a Sunday night or something, like they'll do, or a Monday. They'll
Oh,
do like
right,
a
right,
10
right.
they'll do like a 10:30 game. But like other than that, I agree with
Dude,
you.
they
The
get up
NFL is
like here's the thing.
always prime time.
I know cats that are in California that wake up at fucking 10 in the morning to catch the games and
Yeah,
just start fucking popping.
but something that I know we're not talking about now that I know you are more than educated into not disagreeing with. You got 17 weeks. These
Oh yeah,
television channels have to agree one day of their week. Well, you know what I mean,
right.
give or take
Yeah,
Monday
yeah,
or Thursday night, to where they're gonna just play this game.
yeah.
You can't do that for basketball. There's just too many games. Now on a Lakers Pelicans, where you got two
But
superstars, household
that's
names, you can pull in those views. But like, I'll be honest, bro, people aren't going to tune into the T Wolves, you
they
know what
will
I mean, game
always
at
turn
like
it.
8 o'clock.
They will always tune in to a Laker game. They will always tune in to a Rockets game, a Spurs game,
Disagree.
Golden State game. Those are four. Those are four teams on the West Coast that they're fucking. I will not say necessarily not a Spurs team this year, but typically a Spurs team. I would tune in for a Spurs.
I think that's NBA bias talking. I don't feel like NBA is that household that people are always NBA fans, sure, but people who don't even follow the NFL will still flip to a football game if it's on. People don't do that with basketball.
Really?
I don't think so.
I think that if you care about basketball at all,
no,
you don't even have to be a basketball.
Basketball.
But I was gonna say, but I think the same thing goes for football. I mean, as well. I mean, if you don't care about football, you're not going to turn it to football.
I think there are more people out there who watch football who aren't fans that watch basketball that aren't fans.
I feel like more people would just stop at a baseball game for 2 seconds than
if they go to a baseball game. I would agree that going to an event, baseball is probably the number one sport that people go to, even if they don't follow the sport.
Yeah.
Everyone likes baseball games, probably because you have so much time to talk. To be honest with you, it's a social. It's an awesome social.
It is. I was telling somebody, I was like, man, I love baseball.
As far
games.
As viewing, my gut tells me that on a Sunday, you're not a football fan. There's still a football game on. From 12 o'clock until 11 o'clock, football is airing. Like, you can't.
I've known enough non-football people to know that they don't have a problem avoiding a football game.
Right, but the people who are avoiding those are also not going to tune into a basketball game. That's my point. Those people aren't like, let's watch basketball.
I guess I just don't know anybody that's just sports specific.
Unless you're a basketball fan or a football fan.
Right.
That's all I'm saying, man. Like, the basketball isn't all as cracked it up. I mean, I just like, you can hold, somebody will always mention, somebody will mention a football or a baseball team. Nobody comes in and mentions a basketball team. When was the last casual basketball conversation you had with a non-sports fan?
Well, that's what okay. So what I'm kind of getting at is the fact that those teams that I named off are typically contenders where people would be like, oh, that's actually a good game. Maybe I should check it out for 2 seconds.
NBA fans or non-sports fans?
Okay, so non-sports fans, I'm not okay.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead. I'll let you go. I'm cutting you off.
You're absolutely right with the non-sports fan. They're not going to, but I'm just talking about putting them on in a decent time.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. If you want your best chance at pulling these people in,
basketball fans are going to fall.
Yes,
100%. Well, I was going to say even basketball fans, like East Coast basketball fans, like ourselves, right? When it hits, a certain time at night, if you got shit to do the next day, you have to go to bed because you got a basketball game on every night of the week. You just got to know where to watch it at, and like to be able to stay up till fucking 2 o'clock in the morning, then get up as a respectable adult.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I think you could just get a lot of. The Lakers are a marquee event, no matter who they're playing.
I would agree. It's just like the Cowboys for the NFL.
Right.
There's certain teams, certain markets out there. Your Lakers, your Celtics, your Knicks. I agree with you. Typically, Spurs. Like these are organization. Well, Rockets lately, from a basketball standpoint, yes, and yes, they have history in the past. I'm not saying no to that. What I'm saying is most folks, if you were to say, hey, name some big NBA teams, I don't think the Rockets would click in most people's heads if they were 100% uneducated in the league. I think automatically a Los Angeles as a city stands out, New York, Boston. I think those would be the main ones. I'll be honest. I think most people would get lost after that, though, bro. I really do. Like, if you ask somebody who's like, I don't watch basketball. Like, you know what I'm talking? Those people. I don't know. They would probably say a Dallas over Houston, I bet. Just because it's a bigger, you know what I mean? Bigger city.
For basketball?
No. Just in general. If people were like, I don't know teams. Like, those people who are like, who's your home state team?
Oh, I hope I remember. I'm gonna try and take a poll this week. I'm gonna ask a bunch of random people. I'm gonna try and ask a bunch of random people that this week. I hope I
You can
remember to
ask
do
every
that.
customer. Every
Oh my
customer.
god.
Just be like, hey, you're gonna get a survey about me. It'll ask you how I done. Also, I need you to take another survey. Can you
This
name
was
5
person right
basketball
now.
players? During your discovery, be like, hey, do you watch basketball? I don't watch sports. Perfect. See me after our transaction for a quick survey.
Right. This is a off work thing.
Off record.
Oh, yeah. No, off work. like, look, this has nothing to do with work. Well, the work that
It's
pays
I
me.
mean, it's the more important work, son.
This is the most important work.
That's what I
That's
meant.
right. That's.
The podcast is
Oh
the
yeah,
most
yeah,
important.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Uh, yeah. No, I was just kind of getting the argument, the fact that they need to fucking start making these. Those are this year's LeBrons, dude.
Are they? I couldn't tell.
Yeah, they're just fucking bright, fucking lemonade yellow.
Ugh.
I wonder if like LeBron and Kuz like lost a bet because the only ones wearing them ugly
I know.
motherfuckers. And
So
did you see JaVale McGee fucking just jacking that rack? Oh, he's a beast.
you're
Just
probably ahead
thinking
of me.
about
I'm at 429 in the third.
429. Just got a free throw. We're
Yeah,
good.
they just hit their last free throw. Lakers just brought it into the
They're
Pelicans.
spraying a thing onto Zion's shorts. His steroids.
Mm-hmm. Buckets. Um. So we got to get into the violent portion real quick. Just because I've been still keeping up. So Justin harassed me Saturday. He tried to contact me multiple times just to remind me what time the fight started yesterday.
Oh
Um,
yeah, because
which I
that was
was
like a
I was
midday fight, dude.
yeah, I was doing shit anyways. I didn't watch any of the main cards yesterday, but one thing I did notice is you can replay them today. Well, if you got ESPN Plus, so I watched all 5 fights in a matter of like a half hour, which was fantastic.
That's dope.
And there's only one fight I'm going to bring up, but it's more so just to ask a question, not to really talk about the fight. So in the main event, there were the flyweights. It's um, I already know I'm going to screw up these names. Joseph Benavidez and Davison Figueredo. And um, essentially, what happened is it was a title fight. But here's what happened: Figueredo, Brazilian fighter, 18-1, mind you, came into the fight and missed weight because he didn't make weight. He didn't qualify to win the belt, so they still fought. So um, Benavidez was fighting for a title. Figueredo was just fighting to fight, basically. So my question to you is like my immediate thoughts on that. When you're coming in, you're number one and number three ranking in the flyweights because the belt's been abandoned. I think the other guy went to like welterweight or something. Nonetheless, um, when that happens and someone comes into a fight, whether it be boxing or MMA, and doesn't make weight, that just seems extremely unprofessional, in my opinion. Like, bro, you're about to fight for a title, and you didn't make sure that the one thing you needed to do, well, there's multiple, but the biggest thing you needed to do to qualify was make weight, and you don't make weight.
Yeah.
Like, that just blows my mind. And so I wanted to ask you, like, one, do you have any other stories of something like this happening? And two, to not make weight for a title fight, let alone in general when this is your profession, like, how do you reflect on that?
Uh, so I'm glad you used the word unprofessional because when you're explaining that, I'm like, that's the most unprofessional thing that you could do as a fighter. Second, no. First, you have to make weight to show up to the fucking fight.
Yeah.
Sec, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then secondly is cheat. And I. So who won that fight? The guy that didn't make weight.
So I was gonna save that for the end, but essentially at the end of the day, Figueredo, the guy who didn't make weight, won the fight. And they even asked him post fight in the octagon, you'd be wearing a belt and being called a champion right now had you made weight. How does that make you feel? And of course, his response was, I'm here to fight for the fans, not for a belt. I just want to put on a good show, blah, blah. I'm like, fuck you. Like, Like, regardless if you, in your heart of hearts, you feel like a champion, guess what? That don't mean shit in the UFC record books. You are not a champion right now. Be over something silly like making weight. So yeah, the guy who didn't make weight ended up winning, but now the belt is still vacant.
Now, here's where the UFC really needs to do the right thing. That boxer who should be number 2, well, he'd have a belt, right?
Fighter.
But now he did. Yeah, or I'm sorry, fighter. I would say he still has to wait to whoever he's not in contention for the next fight for a belt. You know what I'm saying? So you got 2 other people that really should earn that belt now because and then once you have those 2 fight, then I would still say that he has to have another fight before that to even qualify to fight whoever wins
So
between.
you're saying Figueredo, even though he just technically
Don't
won
care.
what would have been a title fight, he
You're
has
not
to fight
professional.
one more time before he
has
can
to
do a title fight?
He has to fight one, maybe even 2 more times.
Ooh!
Earn-
So he's being punished for not making weight.
Yeah.
Is not being qualified for a belt not punishment enough for not making weight?
If you want to hold a precedent of being a professional, then I think that that's a fair punishment.
So,
I mean, I'm asking because here's the thing: I promoted a fight about a belt that means something. You gotta you gotta say this belt means something, right? And if you fight and you don't and you win, but you don't even get the belt, that means that belt means nothing because now we're just getting people in the ring to fight.
Just a fight. I agree.
So I think I would not be mad at a 2 fight, penalty to be able to fight whoever they end up crowning a champion. But I mean, like, because here's the thing: like, if you're gonna fight for my organization, you need to have a certain set of seriousness about going about your business.
Sure, I guess what I would say, I don't know about the whole like 2-game like penalty or two match penalty. I think that's a little much for me personally. I guess what I would rather see in something like that would be a situation where before a rematch can be done, maybe there's a situation where Benavido at least gets something like the number 2 fighter or something like that. I don't know if I personally would want to, or Benavidez, sorry. I don't know if I'd want to just jump right into the whole like, rematch right away. Maybe because I think this next guy is Josier Formiga, I guess, is number 2 right now in the flyweight. So maybe those 2 fight. That would maybe make sense. But I mean, most likely a rematch is going to be under place, just because they're going to want to see that. But yeah, I mean, whatever. Like, I think winning a match but then getting nothing for it is punishment enough. Maybe a title fight between number 1 and number 2 before number 1 and number 3 rematch. Just to kind of get the point across of like you had your opportunity and blew it.
Number 4 though. I don't know. I feel like
he's not
like,
going to drop in ranking, so that still counts as a UFC win. He still got the win for it. It's not like there's nothing on that. Wasn't an exhibition fight. That was still for wins and losses. So he's probably going to still move up to maybe like a number 2. What I meant was like the same guy, the Benavidez, fighting who was currently number 2 beforehand.
Okay.
I mean, so technically, in my opinion, Figueiredo should jump Benavidez. There's no reason that the Brazilian who won the fight shouldn't technically be considered better than the other guy. I mean, he doesn't get the title. Okay, he doesn't get the title, but he still gets ranked. He still won. He still defeated the man above him. It's just that he didn't obtain anything.
But what weight class? I mean, that's all about a weight class, and you didn't beat him in that weight class. You you fought him at a weight that was I mean, that's not truly a weight class at that point because of the fact that you came in overweight.
I'll give you that.
So all you did was agree to fight. I agree to give you a fight, not for a belt or a championship, and yes, it goes on my record, so we can get paid. We agreed to get paid together. Is what happened.
Okay.
I mean, like I just want to put more meaning behind the belt than just the fight itself, because that's exactly what ended up happening with
Sure.
Floyd Mayweather, which isn't a bad thing. But I mean, Floyd was just like, he wasn't fighting for belts. He said he fought because he's a prize fighter, and what do prize fighters fight for? Money. That's all he cared about, which is cool. I mean, that's nothing wrong with that. So that's the reason why if somebody ever showed up, I can't think of anybody not showing up to wait with Floyd Mayweather, but he still fucking went in the ring and beat the shit out of him.
That's fair. I'll give that to you on the whole weight thing. That makes perfect sense. I can't argue that.
What else? I saw something that I didn't get to go watch the fight or anything like that, but I saw like they had to break up two fighters before the fight.
Yeah, it
looked more of a clown show than anything else, but I mean, like, did it end up being a good fight?
It's ironic you bring that up because that was the most controversial fight of the night, in my opinion, even more so than not making weight. So it was between oh Jesus, why are these guys named so hard? One of the guys was Russian. Ankalaev, let's just call him that, and the other guy, Kudalaba, doesn't matter. Both of them, I couldn't even. Yeah. Anyways, long story short, it ended in 38 seconds into the first round with a knockout. Essentially, what was happening is the Russian, Ankalaev, was putting some head kicks on the other guy. Let's call him Mago and Ian.
Giving them nicknames.
Yeah, we're gonna call him Mago is the Russian, and Ian is the guy from a really weird country I can't remember.
Let's go with John and Bobby.
No. So we'll just call him Russian, and we'll call him so Ivan Drago is one of them. No disrespect. The other guy is wow, his nickname is the Hulk. He's from why are they making this so difficult? You know what? Everyone can wait because it's a really unique place, and at this point I'm pretty Moldovan. So Voldemort and
Voldemort.
No, but anyways, Voldemort was getting head kicks from Ivan Drago pretty hard, and at the end of the day, like, he was looking like he was dazed. He was kind of like unbalanced, and he was blocking pretty much 95% of all the strikes that were coming his way. But because of this like wobbly appearance, that whether he did purposely or did kind of get hit with one strike and was a little off center, ref stopped the fight, bro. They were both still standing and fighting. Wow. Ref jumped right in the middle and stopped the fight as haymakers were coming in. I mean, everyone, the whole crowd booed the whole time. The analysts were saying he stopped the fight way too soon. Like, that is an error on the ref that shouldn't have happened. So it was actually kind of a big deal, man. I don't know what comes of it. Like, as far as like the referee, I don't know if there's if he's gonna get reprimanded for maybe calling the fight too early. But at the end of the day, Ivan Drago got the win for it, and so. But yeah, I don't have anything else on fighting that I wanted to talk about. I really just wanted to ask the question about the whole making weight, because I mean, Jesus,
it's the disrespect, man. Respect your job. Respect your fucking job. You got two things to do. First, make weight. Second, go fight. In that fucking order.
Yep.
Here's the Dana White pays. Dana White could probably pay these fighters more. I'll say it for the fighters. But at the end of the day, Dana White's got a product to sell, and I think that if there's a way to be penalized even more so, and you do, by all means, to build your brand. He's the brand, and the brand is him. And if he wants the brand to fucking really mean something, then you got to really set some serious standards when it comes to missing weight. And I know it's happened before in UFC.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I can't tell you what he did to handle it. I'm sure he
I mean,
did.
dude,
I'm
it's
sure he did a great
unprofessional.
job, but
Dana White's
at the
already
end of the
come
day,
out and said that he thinks it's extremely unprofessional, and he's just disgusted that it even happened. So like, he don't like what he's seeing either.
but I also have to say that fucking Dana White has made me decide that I'm gonna have to try that fucking fatty fat fucking sandwich, the Kentucky Fried Chicken donut chicken sandwich.
I tell you what, bro, Popeye's chicken sandwich is so goddamn good that I don't know if I would even want to try a different chicken sandwich. Their chicken sandwiches so fire, bro. It's worth the hype. It's worth the hype.
Here, still got Wendy's. I still got Wendy's spicy over it.
See, I thought that too. So you know what I did, CB? I got Popeyes. The very next day, I went and got a spicy chicken sandwich from Wendy's. So I challenge you, being on West Main and being within 2 minutes of both of these locations, I challenge you to try both of them within a short amount of time. Then back and holler at me.
Come on, dude. I don't want to do that to myself.
I said I challenge you. You don't have to take me up on it. I'm just saying, like, I'm telling you, I said the same thing. And then I got that flat fucking piece of shit from Wendy's. Completely changed my opinion, bro.
You got a disrespected sandwich is what you got to follow up.
Bro.
If you got somebody that didn't disrespect your sandwich when they made that shit.
Hey, I'm still rocking the nugs. I mean, they ain't disrespecting it unless they literally cut my chicken in half and gave me half a patty. That chicken just doesn't compare to how thick and juicy Popeye's chicken is on that sandwich.
I was gonna say what I like about the Popeye's chicken more is just the fact that when the pickle hits when you get a pickle in the bite of all that shit, that sets that shit on fire. But unless you hit the pickle, I feel like you just got a sandwich.
Yeah, sit down, fucking Zion.
Can we haven't talked about was how fucking dominating this fucking Lakers defense is. I just want everybody to like recognize like what the fuck is happening around the rim between and Dwight Howard. I don't know if I've done it on the podcast. Dwight Howard, my man, Dwight Howard. I'm saying my man because I am solemnly saying I am so sorry for talking all that shit about you. This entire season, this is the Dwight Howard I wanted years ago with Kobe. Rest in peace. But this is the Dwight Howard that I wanted. And if we could have that Dwight Howard back then, we wouldn't have went through that little spell when we were fucking, what are we going to do before LeBron? LeBron could have came in a much better situation. We would have won LeBron's first year.
So I'm going to argue that no one would have received this Dwight Howard back then because I think it took, and I'm gonna go completely biased and favoritism on this. LeBron's hard work ethic on top of his brotherhood, chillaxed environment.
The environment,
kind of the you do you that makes you the best you. LeBron brings that to an organization. Like he's gonna be there when it's practice time. Everyone's busting your ass. Yeah. When it comes game time, you still got to be focused. But there is a certain lackadaisical jokester mentality that he still brings to a team that he's on. And I feel like that has allowed Dwight to get out of his head about being the number one on a team, the pressure of having to carry to success. And I think it's allowed Dwight Howard to kind of say, you know what, I'm going to sit back. I'm a veteran. Like, I've been in this league long enough. People know my name. I'm going to take the back seat. I'm going to work my ass off. I'm going to be the role player that I am.
Earn a guaranteed money.
And not have to be the one, you know what I mean, that gets them to a championship. On top of that, though, agreed. He signed a contract based upon incentive payout based upon his play. Yeah. So, like, he ain't got no option other than to bust ass. He's game to game. And I don't think he signed anything else. He's still game to game, right?
No. He's in. He's not game to game. Yeah,
Or like
yeah,
officially signed, quote unquote. When did that? It
yeah,
probably
yeah,
happened a while ago.
yeah.
I
It
just missed
happened.
it.
It happened a while back.
How
So
long?
I mean, like, I
Two
mean, not
seasons?
too long ago. No, what's that?
No, I mean like how long? What did he sign for? A season? Two
Oh,
seasons?
I think he signed an official I mean, like
He
where
probably
he
signed
was
for rest
guaranteed.
of this year.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Because
Uh,
I think AD's up this year. LeBron's up to or no, LeBron has one more year or
two.
two more
Well,
years.
so
But I think AD's.
technically, AD's done after this year. We have
That's
to
what I'm talking
re-sign him
about.
this year.
hmm I don't blame him for figuring out what he wants, bro. You know what I mean? Like I don't. Hey, do him. I'll be honest. As successful as they've been and as great as him and LeBron have played side by side, I think it'd be foolish for him to separate. Don't pull a Kyrie, AD. Learn from Kyrie's mistakes. Re-sign with the King. Win multiple championships. That's what I hope he does.
Oh, I will be so for that shit, man. Like,
Yeah.
and I know this is me being like very, but here's the thing: is you're in a great situation where if you can come in, if we can, especially if we win a championship, you come in, you win a championship with LeBron. LeBron's sticking around guaranteed for 2 years. So guess what you get to do? Win 2 more years. That's three
Mm-hmm.
back to back to back, right? So now you got three. You got three fucking championships. You signed a 4 or 5 year deal, and then you took over most of your life or most of your that puts you in those conversations with Steph, Kevin Durant, um, LeBron James, as far as like dominating basketball players that have been on top. Draymond Green. Like
Yeah. For the record,
so
I just wanted you to know I was clapping for Caldwell Pope tying up Zion, not for what you were talking about. I just wanted to
I
make sure
know
you weren't getting overhyped on your like you that was you
you
ain't
know I
Denzel
feel what I
Washington.
say.
You were not like tied up in this monologue. I was not blown away. I appreciate everything you said, but I was clapping for the game. As long as you know that.
Oh, you trying to hurt my feelings because what I said was dope. uh yeah. Anyways, no, I'm very happy with Dwight Howard, and I just want to say sorry for
Yeah,
talking all that shit. And I'm glad that he's fucking
it's
killing it.
fair. Dwight Howard listens every week. Proficient fans.
Yo, I hear we're trying out Deion Waiters.
Yeah, we're gonna try him out. I saw that too.
So
He's old.
yeah, we got rid of Troy. So I mean,
Hey, we're about to hit postseason here in a little bit. We're only
well,
a few months away.
what's his name? Morris. We just got him last week, if I remember correctly.
Who?
Uh, the Piston dude.
Markeith?
Markeith. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
He's out there balling right now, dude. Well, he's out.
How did we get him? Trade?
No, picked him. I just grabbed him. Said, "Hey, here you go. Thank
Did
you."
the Pistons cut him? They waive him?
Yeah, yeah.
I missed that. That's cool. Oh, I can't wait
So
for that game, bro. We're like 3 weeks away.
I know.
Lakers Pistons. Oh, we get to see fucking LeBron James play. I am 0 for fucking 2, my man. I can't. Well, technically 0 for 1 for the ones I've attended, but still, it's like 0 for 2 in my heart. It's just a career high game, Clay. Don't worry about it. It's fine. We're not. I don't want to get into it.
Yeah, he cleared waivers and the Lakers signed him. So
Cool. Well, I don't mean to be that guy, man, but I'm Gucci. I'm.
Yeah, I don't know how we made it this long.
Honestly, I'm the one thing that I put in our notes. That was decent conversation, though. We had a lot to say about that.
I knew we would, but one drink Johnny made it all the way to the end with one drink.
I am on my. Technically, this is my 5th glass I've poured tonight, but they were not as hefty as this pour. So,
yeah.
Regardless of the fact, your boy's feeling loosey goosey.
My wife was not happy with me Monday because all I did was lay on the fucking couch and sleep.
Good for you. Good for you.
I woke up. I took my oldest to school because the youngest was sick, and I dropped her off at school. Came back. I was like, I gotta take a nap. So I took a nap. Got up. We went to Qdoba.
Oh,
family. Me, my wife, and my sick kid. But then we didn't eat there. We came home, and me and my wife shared nachos, and I
Fire.
ate I ate 1.5 chips, and I was just like, I'm done. So I went back and slept some more. Uh, my wife said, "You gonna email the school and let them know you picking up CB?" Fuck, I was gonna make his ass ride the bus today. I never make him ride the bus, but I was gonna make him ride the bus. Went picked his ass up, came home, got sick again. I was not right until about 8:30 that night.
That sucks.
So I decided, you know what? I'm gonna
Right now?
make. Oh man, I've decided that I think going forward, I'm just gonna do one big ass fucking pour, and that has to be my drink for the fucking night because that took me the fuck out the game. But I drank the rest of that Loch Lomond, then I fuck with a Dirty Bird 101. That's it. That fucking took the wrinkles out of the sack and had me fucking partying, dude.
That's dope.
So, oh well, hey guys, thank you again for joining us for episode number 73. 73.
70 fucking.
Fuck me, but ready to hit 100 before you know it.
Oh my god.
Eat a dick.
Hey, and for all of you out there, we are 3 weeks away from seeing CB and Clay in the same room recording. I'm excited for
That's
that.
gonna be weird.
Yeah, that'll be dope, man. I'm excited. I don't have to
We're
see your
gonna be-
laggy ass screen anymore.
You know, you lagged a couple times on me
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just
at the beginning.
you and
of the
I
pod,
don't
So.
you and I don't see ourselves lag. We see the other person lag.
Oh, where?
But it's you. It's you.
I'm thinking it's you because I did a test because you had me
know it
curious. I'm like, what the fuck? I was
It's
like,
not.
man, I'm busting nuts up in here with speeds.
Man, how many megs you got a second? What are you working with right now?
Hold on, let me get on it. I've been controlling my kids' internet with my fucking app. I'm getting familiar.
Just go right to Google, search speed test. What you pushing?
80-22. 22 up.
What do you got?
Hold on, that was February 22nd. Let me do a test again. Oh, I'm sorry. That was a while back. Run speed test. Oh, let me hook up to the internet too.
You are putting all this that far back because you ain't ready. Unbelievable. You got a laptop right in front of you, bro. Literally go to Google, type in speed test, and run that shit.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, man. Just go to Google, type internet speed test. You don't even have to type that. You can type speed test. And Google has a run speed test option right at the top.
I see that right now. I never did that. Oh, hold on.
Shut the fuck up, Google Mini. God damn.
Oh, you know what? I know what I did because I switched to my phone because of the fact that I got 100
This
things going on my phone.
this motherfucker on the mic, I got him making excuses. He's like, well,
No,
my
I
kid's
just
playing
realized that
Fortnite upstairs. My woman's downloading 3 movies, and my dog is streaming some doggy videos, and
so off my phone though, it's legitimately going what 0.17 up and 38 down. But if I was on my internet, I'd be 79 down and 22 up.
I'm over 100 megs a second on Wi-Fi. I'm pushing 220 on my Xbox hardwired.
Damn.
Yeah, well, fuck me.
I got
Remember, man.
I got 5
much
TVs. I got.
That's exactly. My point being, just because I know it's your fault doesn't mean it's your fault.
Right. You did.
You reproduced. That's not me.
He's popping off all this shit because we're not in front of each other. But in a few weeks, I'm gonna fuck his ass up for talking that.
I'll give you the Deontay Wilders, bro. I'll give you the bomber.
I guess I'm Tyson Fury because he won.
All of a sudden,
how we switching colors on this motherfucker?
Fight, you're like, you know what? I was a Fury fan from the beginning. I was all about Fury. You know, I don't even like boxing. He goes, boxing's a violent sport. I don't even like it. There's only one fighter in my life, and that's Jesus Christ.
Buddy Jesus. MLS kicked off this weekend.
Shut up. End the podcast. Oh, hold up. You got me lightheaded, bro. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Oh, shit. He said the Professional Bowling Association rolled off this weekend.
I was just trying to let you know.
All right,
MLS
listen.
was popping.
I
tried to start that, and then I got there.
Listening in. Anyone out there, follow us on Spotify, follow us on iTunes, leave us some reviews, follow us on YouTube, share our Facebook profile shares, share our website, tag me in CB, quit being fucking lazy, shout us out, god damn it.
And get on the Instagram. What kind of American art is that on Instagram?
We're getting lightheaded laughing on Mike, man. The world needs to know about it. Do something about it.
Look, we give you quality love every week. We appreciate you. Help us out. Do what we can do so we can give you better content. Who knows? You guys might make it where we could actually do this like twice a week because we're actually getting paid. So we love you. All right, we're out. Peace.
Take care.
All right.